Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another edition of my Team Selector ahead of the game away to Spurs tomorrow night in the League Cup. It's the fourth round, the third round was last week. That is the case of this extreme season. Ridiculous circumstances, but that's the way it is. And to be honest, if we think it's intense and a quick turnaround, Spurs have to play a Europa League game on Thursday, 2 days after they play us tomorrow. So it's intense for them, it's intense for everyone this season. I think we just have to get used to it. Of course, Spurs against Chelsea, historic rivalry, always one of the biggest games on the calendar for both sets of fans. Also now the added element of last season of Mourinho versus Lampard. Chelsea getting positive results last season against Spurs. They were really some of the best days of Frank Lampard's first season. So let's hope that continues in 2021. Also, I think the Carabao Cup is our best chance of silverware this year. I think Frank will really want to target this competition, and I think he should, because the benefit and the optimism and I think the encouragement it would give to his squad if they could win something together, especially with not only the young players within his squad for Lampard as a coach to win a piece of silverware as Chelsea manager, but also the new players coming in, integrating and feeling like Chelsea players. I think it would be a really big boost for the squad. So I think that's why he'll be taking the game seriously tomorrow night. And also in reference to Saturday night's performance, because I think Frank will want to put that behind him. How many players will survive from the starting 11 on Saturday to tomorrow night? That's going to be the intriguing thing for me. Frank Lampard, with his team news, confirmed that both Edouard Mendy and Ben Chilwell will be in the squad tomorrow, so that's a boost. But both Christian Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech not ready for the matchday squad yet. Maybe they'll be ready for Palace, the Premier League game on the weekend. If it isn't that game, it will have to wait till after the international break. But let's go into this game and my team. I'm going to go with a 3-4-3. And the reason I'm going with a 3-4-3 is for two reasons. Because it worked so well against Spurs both times last year. Chelsea played that formation. It really worked and gave us a lovely balance between attack and defense, midfield solidity, which we've lacked recently. And also why I think a 3-4-3 could be good here is based off of Saturday's performance, the weaknesses in transition. How can Chelsea protect themselves against transitions after losing the ball? And I just wonder whether Frank will go with that as well, just to shore up that defense going into this game. And as well, he'll want to press up those wing backs now very high as well. So I think there's a variety of reasons why I think that Frank may go for a 3-4-3. I wouldn't be stunned if he does go with a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. I just think it'll be interesting to see who survives from Saturday's game. But let's go into my starting 11. I do think Edouard Mendy will be given his full debut as Chelsea's new goalkeeper. I think it'll be a big night for him. Let's hope he performs well. I think just the fact he's in the squad, I'd be a bit stunned if he isn't starting the game. Then the back three, Dave, usually as the right centre-back. You know, I think he came off the bench, didn't he, on Saturday against West Brom. I thought had a decent game, added some character to the team on Saturday when they needed it. Alongside him, I think in the middle of back three, I think Frank will stick with Thiago Silva, because that mistake, I think as a professional, you know, at the start of his Chelsea career, he'll want to get that out of the way, put that out of his system and get moving and get sharper with more match fitness. And I wonder if this is a good game to keep playing him as well. Alongside him to finish up the back three is going to be Fikayo Tomori. I think for his recovery runs and speed and intelligence, I think this could be a good chance to bring in Fikayo Tomori. Tomori hasn't played a lot in a back three, but I just wonder once again with the left wing back I'm playing, pressing up so high, I think you need that speed to counteract transitions. I think Tomori or Zuma could feature here. Even Christensen, who had a good game on Saturday, but I'm going to go for Fikayo Tomori. Right wing back is going to be Reece James. Now, as we saw on Saturday, Chelsea used Reece James a lot of the time, trying to get the ball out to him for crossing opportunities. But he was pressed so high, and we saw in transition him getting done over and over, being out of position because he was pressed up so high. Having Dave behind him, we saw this a few times last season when Frank played this formation and put Reece James at right wing back. He has that protection of Dave behind him and potentially midfield to cover for him as well, so he can press a little bit higher and be a bit more effective in the final third. Midfield two, Ross Barkley, I think, will start this game. I just think naturally he'll start a League Cup game, and he's been pretty positive for Frank Lampard, hasn't he, recently? So I think he'll get a shout in the starting 11 alongside N'Golo Kante. Now, there is this concern of overplaying N'Golo Kante, but just looking at our midfielders at the moment and that worry of transitions, of counter-attack, of strength in that midfield, Chelsea don't have another DM fit at the moment. I mean, Billy Gilmour is the closest, but of course he's out at the moment. The links to Declan Rice, we don't have any of that at the moment, and I don't really want to see Barkley and Cover again, because they did get exposed at times against Barnsley, and of course this is Tottenham, different level of game. Obviously, left wing back is going to be Ben Chilwell getting his first start for Chelsea. Let's hope he plays well as well. I think fit, raring to go. Saw some cool clips of him in training, so let's hope he has a good and strong night for his first time in a Chelsea shirt against Spurs. A massive debut for him, I'm sure, like Edouard Mendy. Then looking at the front three, so the two inverted wingers, I'm torn between, on the right, Mason Mount or Kai Havertz, because Mason Mount did play this role pretty successfully in the games against Spurs last season when we did play the 3-4-3. I think he really works well with the forward in those games, and I just wonder whether Frank will want to use a player that's used to this formation rather than Kai Havertz, who of course wasn't here last season, still adapting to life at Stamford Bridge. But I'm just going to go with Kai Havertz because I think rotation, giving Mount a bit of a rest, and also getting that sharpness up for Kai Havertz, and I think he could have a really strong night once again. I think even though he didn't really massively influence the game on Saturday, of course it was a difficult night for all Chelsea players, he did set up Callum Hudson-Odoi's goal, and I did think looked like a bright and positive influence over the course of the game. Left wing is going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think Hudson-Odoi has to feature in the starting 11 for me because he had such a positive impact coming off the bench. I just would be stunned if he's not in the starting 11. Now, with a 3-4-3, that may cause him to be on the bench because you could see Timo Werner starting this position just off a striker like we saw on Saturday. Could see Mason Mount and Kai Havertz as the two inverted wingers. I just think Hudson-Odoi deserves a shout here. I really think he does. I think he definitely made an impression. Up top, I was also torn on this as well between Olivier Giroud, Timo Werner, and Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham scored in his last two games, will be feeling confident and raring to go, can add that focal point. Timo Werner yet to score a Chelsea goal, scored against Tottenham away from home for Leipzig in the Champions League last season, had a good game against them there. But I'm going to go with Olivier Giroud. I just think because it's a League Cup game and also gives you that focal point. If Chelsea want to hit the ball a little bit longer tomorrow night, he can boss defenders and can get other players into play as well. And I just think it's the right time to give Giroud his first start of the season. But that is my predicted 11, my team selector ahead of the game against Spurs tomorrow night in the League Cup. It's going to be a big game. Let me know your lineups in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.